Something huge is happening in the world of artificial intelligence, and believe it or not, India has become the absolute ground zero for all of it. What used to be a really expensive premium technology is suddenly becoming available to millions, and it's kicking off this incredible race for who will dominate the future.
And that brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Why on earth are the world's biggest tech companies suddenly slashing prices for their most powerful AI tools, but pretty much only in India? Okay, let's get into it.
What we're seeing right now is the start of a really aggressive price war. You see, the global tech giants have decided that India is the key battleground for the future of AI, and they're using price as their main weapon to win.
The first shot in this war? Well, that was fired by OpenAI. On August 19th, they dropped a brand new plan called ChatGPT Go. It was made specifically for India, and it just completely changed the entire game.
And get this, it costs just 399 rupees a month. I mean, that is just a tiny fraction of what people pay for premium plans around the world. It was a crystal clear signal. The strategy here isn't about making big profits on each user, it's about getting millions and millions of them and fast.
Now, for anyone who's been following India's tech scene, this whole strategy probably feels really familiar. In fact, a lot of people are calling this AI's Jio moment, and it's a direct parallel to one of the biggest shakeups in India's recent history.
So, to really understand what's happening with AI, you have to look back at the original Jio moment. Back in 2015, a company called Reliance Jio jumped into the telecom market with insanely cheap 4G data. And that one move made the internet affordable for hundreds of millions of people, completely changing the way India works.
And this visual just shows the impact perfectly. Look at this. In 2012, 84% of all internet use was on desktops. Just a few years later, right after Jio launched, that number completely flipped. 84% of traffic was now coming from mobile phones. That's the kind of revolution we're talking about.
And that is exactly the playbook that these AI companies are borrowing from. They're making a huge bet that by making their powerful tools super affordable, they can create a similar explosion in AI use and basically weave their products into the daily lives of millions of Indians.
But of course, OpenAI isn't playing this game alone. Not by a long shot. The competition is getting fierce, so let's break down who the main players are and what they're offering.
Okay, so here's a look at the battlefield. OpenAI fired that first shot with its 399 rupee plan. Elon Musk's xAI is right there with SuperGrok at a very competitive 700 rupees. Google's Gemini Pro, yeah, it's pricier, but their big advantage is how it connects with all the Google apps you already use, like Gmail and Docs. And then you have Perplexity, which has this really fascinating strategy. They're partnering with the telecom giant Airtel to give away their Premium Pro plan for free to millions of subscribers.
So this all begs the question, right? Why India? Why this intense focus that's kicking off a global price war right here?
Well, the first and most obvious reason is just the incredible scale. We're talking about a market with over 900 million internet users. That number is just staggering. Capturing even a tiny piece of that is a huge win for any company.
But you know, it's not just about the numbers. It's about how engaged people are. Indians aren't just online. They are really early adopters. The country's AI adoption rate is already at 30%, which is actually higher than the global average. This is a market that's ready and eager to jump on new technology.
And it all comes together to create this perfect storm. You have the world's largest youth population, a booming ecosystem of software developers, a market that's super smart about technology but also very conscious of price, and on top of all that, you have strong government support. It's the perfect recipe for AI to just take off.
But this story isn't just about big global companies fighting over customers. What's truly amazing is how Indian startups are using AI to solve real, critical problems that people face every day. This is where AI stops being just a cool tool and starts changing lives.
I mean, just listen to this. This is a real message sent to Wyza, an Indian AI chatbot for mental health. It's just a raw, powerful reminder of how AI is becoming a lifeline for people, especially in a country where getting access to mental health care can be really, really tough. This is what real impact looks like.
And it's not just healthcare. In farming, you have startups like Nico Robotics. They're using AI-powered cameras on tractors to spray pesticides only on the specific plants that are actually sick. Think about that. It's like precision medicine, but for plants. This simple idea is saving farmers half their costs and massively cutting down on chemical pollution. This is innovation that tackles huge economic and environmental problems.
Okay, so we've seen the global race, we've seen the incredible local innovation, but what does all of this intense competition actually mean for you, the average person in India? Well, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the benefits are fantastic. You're getting affordable access to some of the most powerful AI tools ever made. There's more innovation, more choices, and more tools being built specifically for Indian languages. But on the other hand, we have to be really careful about things like data privacy, the risk of misinformation spreading, and the huge pressure this whole thing puts on smaller, local Indian AI startups that are trying to compete. Okay, let's wrap this up. Here's the big picture. What we're seeing is a massive price war started by OpenAI that people are calling AI's Geo moment. It's all about one thing: capturing India's huge, tech-loving market. This makes India the #1 battleground, not just because of its massive population, but because of its incredible talent. And while the global giants are fighting it out, it's the local startups, the ones using AI to solve real-world problems in health and farming, that are showing us the true potential of this technology. So for you, this means you're getting amazing access to world-class tools at a super low cost. But it's also a wake-up call to think about our data privacy and how we can support local innovation. The race for the future of AI is on, and it's being fought not just in Silicon Valley, but in Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Delhi. And that leaves us with one final really important question to think about. As these incredibly powerful AI tools get woven deeper and deeper into our daily lives, how are we, as individuals and as a whole country, going to make sure we balance all that power with our right to privacy and our most important values?
If you found this explainer helpful, please do hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives that break down complex topics just like this one.
Thanks for watching.